So 2020-2021 Europa League draw has taken place and we now know who is in which group. But which of the teams will make it through to the knockout stages? In this video, we're going to take a look at my early door predicoroonies for Group D. Show today, we're taking a look at the early door predictions coming at you at the Europa League, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Europa League related, world football related. We're going to all hear under one Rooski. That's right. In these next few videos, over the next few days, we'll take a look at each and every one of the groups at the 2020-2021 Europa League. But before, again, we jump into the deep end, a big shout out to the Patreon gang. That's right, you know who you are, the VIP exclusive gang. And recently, we've just got ourselves up to 19 patrons. So a big shout out to Michael Cotton, who did join the gang just the other day. And also a big shout out to the Mexican Sniper. You know who you are, the VIP exclusive gang. He did up his pledge quite recently. So a big shout out to him. And of course, the fantastic brothers from another mother out in the old Patreon gang. So do appreciate the support that you do. And if anyone else is out there that wants to join the VIP gang, get in stock in the old description down below. There is a link, patreon.com/roverseas. And everything else is down there. My Twitter, my Facebook, and of course, details for the Patreon. But anyway, we're going to jump into the deep end now. Let's take a look at what's going to go on out in Group D then, shall we? Of course, out in the Europa League. Here we go. Let's get into thick things. Of course, this is a difficult group on first look. When you take a look at the clubs that are in this. Starting on the top left, we have Rangers, of course, coming out of Scotland, finishing second out in the top flight out in Scotland behind Celtic, but they're here on the same sort of playing field. Of course, Celtic also in the Europa League as it stands, finishing second, managed by Steven Gerrard. Of course, they do play the football at Ibrox, which usually hosts 50,000 when on a good day. Meanwhile, also joining Rangers in this group, Group D, it will be Lech Poznan coming out of Poland. They actually finished second out in the Ekstrala, out in the Polish top flight. 43,000 usually, managed by Dariusz Szura. Can they get themselves into the knockout stage? We'll take a close look at that shortly. Joining these top two here, we have Benfica. Goodness gracious me. Benfica also finishing second out in the top flight out in Portugal, managed by Jorge Jesus. They usually play their football at the Estadio da Luz, which usually holds 64,000. Goodness gracious me. But of course, none so far. And wrapping up in the bottom right hand corner will be from Belgium, Standard Liège, of course, managed by Philippe Montagnier, finishing in fifth out in the top flight out in Belgium, usually playing in front of 27,000 fans in the Stade Maurice du Fauchon. But will they get the chance to see these boys in action in the Europa League? We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, a quick look at the odds on this one to give you kind of an insider look into this. Benfica are your favourites to win this group, 11-8 on. Red Hawk favourites. Rangers are second favourites, 30-5. Standard Liège 4-1 to win the group. Lech Poznan long shots 12-1. But that's their thoughts. What about my thoughts? Let's get into it and take a look at the early door predictions for Group D. We're all going to kick off on the 22nd of October. It'll be Lech Poznan taking on Benfica over in Poland, as Poland against Portugal, really, when you boil it down. A difficult start, this one, for Benfica, if they're going to come out on top as group winners. I do expect a stodgy old game with a 0-0 draw. Again, a little bit nerves, maybe, from all teams in action on match day number one, just to kind of maintain an unbeaten start. So a 0-0 draw, Lech Poznan will be happy with that. Benfica also pretty content with that, getting a point away from them. Standard Liège taking on Rangers, of course. Liège will probably be the whipping boys in this group. In Group D, Rangers open up with a win, in my eyes, a 2-1 in match day number one, to get themselves a commanding lead. So far, so good for Rangers and Stevie G. Stevie G's boys will then take on Lech Poznan at Ibrox on the 29th of 10th. That's match day number two, just a week later. And they'll come out on top again, back-to-back wins for Rangers here with a 3-1 win over Lech Poznan to get themselves, a little bit closer to those illustrious knockout stages, which they made it just last season. Benfica taking on Standard Liège over in Portugal. And again, Benfica with the favourites tag. They'll need to win this one. And I do expect them to win it quite comfortably with a 3-0 win. Into the halfway mark sort of thing. 5th of November, Lech Poznan against Standard Liège. Both of these two sides yet to get up and running here. A big chance for them to compete with the top two here with a win. They need a win on either way. Which way will it go? I do find it tight, but I'm going to give it to Lech Poznan with just a goal swing, with a 2-1 win for Lech Poznan in the end. Meanwhile, over in Portugal, Benfica and Rangers. So far, Rangers back-to-back wins. Benfica, of course, slipping up a little bit against Lech Poznan away from home. Big chance for them to regain control of this group with a win, and that's what I do expect to see happening with a 2-0 win on the 5th of November. Then a couple of weeks later, as we over the hump, boys, as we get over the hump, chance for a bit of revenge here here for Standard Liège as they take on Lech Poznan over in Belgium. Can they get themselves their first victory on the campaign? No, they can't. I can only see a 1-1 draw, and again, Lech Poznan will be content with that. And they're not out of it. They're not out of the woods just yet. They could actually sneak through the back door here at the expense of maybe Rangers and Benfica, depending on what goes on, especially in this game over at Ibrox as Rangers take on Benfica on the 26th of November. Who's going to come out on top? Of course, Benfica had the upper hand in the last time around. Rangers will a bit of a slipped opportunity here, perhaps, and again opened up a bit more opportunity for Lech Poznan here, as they've only suffered they have suffered at least one defeat at the hands of Rangers. Anyway, into match number 5, big game here. If Lech Poznan were to get anything out of this against Benfica, they're in the contention. If not, I think they're going to slowly fade away. Benfica taking on Lech Poznan over in Portugal. This will be on the 3rd of December, match day number 5, and again, I do expect Benfica comfortably to come out on top and maintain their 100% record at home at the very least. That's right. In fact, that wraps up their home form. Meanwhile, Rangers take on Standard Liège. Rangers do need to win this one because it's so far back-to-back winless games for Rangers, as they of course lose to Benfica away, and they also picked up only a draw against Benfica at home. But I do expect them to win again, only just with a 2-1 win over Standard Liège. It won't be that dominating, but just enough to get them over the line and probably get themselves through to the next stages. Lech Poznan taking on Rangers over in Poland. A win here for Poznan, it might give them a chance. I don't know. I've kind of lost the plot with my maths in my brain at the moment, but I do expect a tough one. Rangers, though, will come out on top. I think it'll be a win or bust for Lech Poznan. I think they'll expose themselves a bit too much, and Rangers will take advantage of it to give themselves a 2-0 lead. But will it be enough to win the group? Standard Liège taking on Benfica. Benfica, of course, did draw against Lech Poznan in the first match at the top there, and they've also drawn their last game away from home against Rangers. Will they draw this one against Standard Liège? They will lose it. Wow, I've gone for a surprise package there. And what has that done? What has that done for this group and Group D? Well, have a little look at it. We've already seen what the bookies think. They think Benfica will be the favourites. Rangers second, Standard Liège third, and Lech Poznan. What about me? I've actually got Standard Liège in 4th, 4 points on the board for them. Lech Poznan with 5 points into 3rd spot, but of course it is a 2-horse race. Benfica coming out at 2nd, 11 points on the board, but Rangers nicking it just because I think their their away form gets it for them. Their big fat win over Lech Poznan, and also the win against Standard Liège will be the ticket for Rangers' success out in Group D. Now, before we bounce out of here, I wanted to quick look at, of course, the overall odds for these. Of course, Benfica are your favourites for the group according to the bookies. They're actually 25-1 also to lift the trophy as it stands. Rangers, they're actually 80-1, a little bit less than a little bit more, like greater odds than that of Celtic, 80-1 to lift the trophy. Meanwhile, Lech Poznan, we've already seen some other Eastern European countries in this, 750-1 for Lech Poznan. Standard Liège also 80-1, same odds as Rangers for this one. That's how tight it is. But that, my friends, is what I think will happen out in Group D. So that's it, my friends. That's what I expect to happen out in the Europa League in this group. Do you agree or disagree? Please sure to get your own predictions right in the comment section down below. We'll take a little look at them, of course, once the qualifying campaign comes to a halt. We'll revisit all of these. We'll take a look at what you thought, take a look at what I thought, see who came out on top. Of course, be sure to give the video some love and smash that thumbs up, and of course smash your subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. Bang the old little bell as well, as we try to keep up to date with all things Europa League related, boys and girls. We're going to cover it extensively, of course, match day by match day predictions when they come around, and also be sure to check out the old description links to my other social media platforms are in there, Twitter, Facebook, and of course Patreon if you want to support the channel in another way. That's the place to do it. There's also a link down on the bottom of the screen there. Till then though, be sure to give the video some love in. Stay safe out there. Looking forward to the Europa League. Hopefully you guys are too. Until then though, play safe. See you soon. Until then, I'm out.